Hi, everyone. We're going to look at some more of the draw tools now. You have a few to choose from, but we are going to primarily look at the shape tool, the paint bucket tool, the eyedropper tool, the text tool, and the pencil tool. We'll leave gradient because that's a separate tutorial on its own. Right now, all I want you to do is open up a blank canvas and go to your shape tools. Shape tools have a lot of options. We have a number of different things we can do down here. We have lines, we have octagons, we have circles, we have these rounded rectangles. So I'm going to start with a star. And I'm just going to draw a star in there. Now I have a setting here under yours would probably look like basically something like this. What you'd like to do is click that arrow, and in here you have a number of style options. So I can do a beveled star, make it look a little different. I can do, if I go into glass buttons, I can change it to a nice color, a nice sort of glassy looking color. I can do image effects of all sorts here. Right, by applying that, I can come down and do outer glows. I can come down here and do neon or chrome. I can change it to a plastic look. And I can use this pointer, or I can use the move tool up here on the left to actually, the pointer allows me to stay within the tool though. I can move this around. Okay, I can turn it this way, whatever I wish to do. I'm just going to draw another tool here for you for the purpose of demonstrating the other aspects of this area. So I can draw a circle tool. I'm going to take all the styles off. Over here, remove style. And I get a simple circle. Now I'm going to draw another circle. Now, if I wanted to change the color of a circle, very, very simple way. If I wanted to change the color, I could come down here and do this. And of course, I could do it to the other one. Now, if I was in a different scenario, say in a multi-layer assignment where I'm looking to find a color that's not on the color swatches I have, but something inside the image, I would come over here and use the eyedropper tool. You get a pointer sample surface area. That's all this is talking about for color picker. What I'm looking for, so it would, a larger color area picked would just assume or read more of what's around that dropper. So I'm going to choose this color. And if you can see over on the color palette area down here, my color is changing based on what I click on. Even this purple over I can choose. Even this tiny dark purple line I can actually select as well. I can select the shading, the soft pink shading behind it as well. So any aspect of a picture can be chosen with the eyedropper tool if you're trying to match a color inside a layers assignment. So keep that in mind. The shape tool, as you saw, is basically a number of different things I can do with it, but I can add these effects to the shapes, make them more interesting, used in any number of ways. I chose unconstrained, circle, fixed size, proportional, just talk about the shapes, how they appear. From center would be exactly what it says. And over here, I can add, subtract, exclude, simplify, etc. So keep that in mind. I'm doing a color picker. I'm going to pick that soft color. And now I go over to my paint bucket. Now, paint bucket has two options down here. I can choose a pattern, or I can choose paint. I'm going to make sure I can choose just a solid color. I'm going to come back up here to my layers, and I'm going to move myself down to my background layer of white so that I get these options freed up. If I'm on a shape layer, I can't do the same thing, but I'm going to go back to my background layer. And I'm going to change my opacity. And I've chosen light pink. And I'm changing my background to light pink. As you can see, my background was white, now it's light pink. I'm going to come back to my eyedropper and choose, let's say, this whitish color here, or this pink. Come back with my tool and drop that in. So I've got kind of a deep, deep dark purple. And if I wanted to do a shape, such as this circle, I can do that too. I can do this shape as well if I wanted to by clicking on that layer and changing that shape, etc., so on and so on and so on. Now, the other aspect of the paint bucket is called pattern, and I can choose a pattern of any sort. I can upload a pattern of any kind I want, and I can fill my shapes with those patterns. So I'm on this layer now, and I can come down and do a pattern. We can do the background, give you an idea. So pattern tool adds a pattern. Paint tool basically adds paint. And again, I encourage you to kind of play around with some of these guys. They do a lot of different things. Overlay, already, creates a transparent layer on top. Hard light, soft light, screen, color dodge, color burn, multiply, darken, all do different things and adjust the color and the look of the color you're painting. So keep that in mind to play around with those things. If I have multiple layers, I can do all layers. That would mean I'd add the pattern to all the layers selected, all the layers in this assignment, I should say. And again, one of the last tools here, I can do a pencil tool. And again, I have quite a large brush, but if I bring it down and I come in here, I can draw on the pencil tool. I'll just go to a shape here and see what I can draw. Simplify. And I'm drawing this color in. I can change the size down to something quite small and make it smaller, as you can see. Go to my background layer. Paint it in there too. And I'm going to choose normal. And you can see I can draw. I can write high. I can do a whole number of things with the pencil tool. It's very flexible and it's very simple. So you play around with this. That's not something I'm going to spend a ton of time on. Just showing you how it works and that you can do all sorts of things with it. And the last one on here is the text type tool. So I get a kind of a box. I'm just going to simplify this again, just to give you an idea. Text type tool. I would draw the box as big as or small as I want it. I have all kinds of text options right now. I have on stencil, bold, 10 point. I can change the size, tracking. I can change the color. I can change the warped text. I can make this warped. I can make it vertical, anti-aliasing. I can make it look sharper that way. So I'm just going to type in. This is the stencil I've chosen. So an interesting font anyway. And highlight that. And we can come under and do all kinds of different things to it. Showing the bounding box. I can play around with a whole bunch of options here to surround my tool with. And again, here I can choose different fonts. And as I choose the fonts, as you can see, my font behind me changes. I can get a good accurate read on it. So that is basically your text type tool. Now, if I was to come under here and warp text, it made it vertical. You can't see it anymore. I come back to my type tool here. And you can do a number of different things. Just play around with it, explore, see what it does. Again, the most important things here were paint bucket, the eyedropper tool to select color. The shape tool might be useful. Text tool, if you want to add words, you're going to have to, I think, in one of the projects. And the pencil tool is just straight up draw. Straight up drawn, in any different way you want. Anyway, have fun with it. Create something using those 5 tools and turn it in.